attic. I think it must be dusty. And that's what I ran into because last 10 years have been just a little busy in my life. So I ran into lots of dust bunnies and things. But a couple of things I wanted to share were some Eloise Wilkin illustrations. And I see by Polly's book, I've shared this with you once before, of how Eloise's early work and her later work.
Oh,
And then Jan, dressed so appropriately today, her earlier work and her later work. I was thinking about some of the older things I used to put together other than Eloise Wilkin and taking the golden books. And one thing were the postcard books. And I thought, oh, I have a collection of them.
I don't remember.
Remember too many books, but not postcards.
Guess what? I don't have a collection of them. It's a good thing we do this. I'm missing two.
Oh,
I am missing Little Animal Friends and Mercer's Monsters.
Mercer Mayer's Monsters.
That's what I'm missing. So that was my surprise, which I think is very good for us.
Those are all Eloise Wilkin?
No, just the one is.
Just the one.
Oh, I'm saying, yeah. Except the ginghams. I remember buying paper dolls. I have paper doll ginghams.
I
I think I
bought
bought them in Iowa.
To kill the
You were there too. Our sister lived in Iowa for a while.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
And Eloise Wilkin started this collection off too by having a poster book. And then, of course, you look at the back and you realize that there's other poster books. And then Holly comes in carrying a poster book today. Do you have that one? Yeah, I have them all. A little better than the postcard collection. You can walk through a bit if you want to. You can walk through.
Permission.
Yeah, permission granted. Yeah. That's hilarious. I think they're all in the original cardboard backing except the Eloise Wilkin one.
I just thought that was Eloise's specialty. I didn't know that was
The other one.
series either. Golden likes to do things in
I
groups.
don't think these will stay.
Super brilliant.
Superheroes and Raggedy Ann. And that is the entire network of them.
Oh my goodness.
Jacob had a lot of superhero toys.
This came from an antique mall in Madison.
Judy, you want to leave the other second yet?
And then you may turn around.
Okay, that's good.
Miss Judy.
Thank you.
I don't have the little grandkids anymore. What does, I know the Cookie Monster is no longer the Cookie Monster. What does he eat now? I remember.
Sesame Street, Big Bird, Cookie
don't know.
Monster.
No, but Oscar is no longer, I mean, Cookie Monster isn't the cookie,
So
he's
you just bought that one for
Von
For
Helden.
Judy and Craig.
No.
Really? Oh,
Oh.
see, I don't watch the new one.
Well,
I
I-
old
I-
videos from my
I
grandkids.
I heard about that.
I don't have
It's a cookie you just got. It's good enough for me. Oh, I see. She got it.
Now this is really where the dust came in.
It's so far up.
These have been sorely neglected.
They're too far away.
But I think we'll do it 2 by 2. The golden book dolls. Here's Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, those are beautiful.
And of course the books themselves are worth quite a bit because they're complete paper doll books.
Yeah.
believe, through, there was an author, Carol Stover, she was doing magazine articles and things, and Elmer and I were loaning her some of our collections for props, for pictures. And as a favor, I think what it was is she probably had a computer way before we did. And she was able to supply me the name and address to a couple out east, and that's how I got those 2 dolls. Now this one, I think you've all heard the story of. Holly put me in contact with the person who owned this doll.
And this time.
Little Red Riding Hood came through my association with Mary up in Alaska. Janet Billy.
No,
Not Janet,
not a Connell or Scoop.
Connor.
Connor or something.
Connor, yeah.
Connor.
Yeah, she went by her, either a previous name or Mary.
Yeah, there was another
And
name.
so it always confused me.
It's a different.
But anyway, I helped her get something she always wanted. Oh, I know, Nurse Nancy. And she in turn then allowed me to buy her second Little Red Riding Hood. And this one, Holly got a contact. Was he just desiring information?
She contacted me on my Golden Book site, but not on the public site as an individual email, asked if I knew anything about the Golden Book dolls.
Now, a lot of these, I think this one in particular, the boxes like weren't complete, and Elmer would
Yeah.
work on
Work on it.
yeah,
Doctor.
crafting them. And
How many did you get from her? The lady?
this was a man and it was one.
Oh, just one that you needed.
This was a man. This was the most recent one, just a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Good shape of the boxes.
They're almost fragile.
Yeah, but.
And you know, you go to a doll place and nobody knows anything about them. Now, how could
Yeah.
you not know when you saw that, what they
Right,
were?
right.
And that it would stick in your mind. And
Yeah.
you go to a doll show, nobody knows what you're talking about.
Really?
They have no idea.
They have no idea. They don't know anything about them.
She saves the best for last.
And you know,
The
I
ones that
I
I
wasn't even sure which way they got
Oh, I didn't.
The other night, the cat helped me clean off the boxes so that all of you wouldn't be sneezing from all the dust bunnies. Okay. Oh, well, she's got a help. Here, now, this is for Jan. You've all seen my busy Timmy.
Oh, good.
Oh, he's gained in bits and pieces. The doll.
There's your Timmy.
Later on the clothes.
Oh, you're still drooling over a busy Timmy. Must be there.
Better watch her.
Oh, I don't know.
Yep, still have to have another picture of him.
A lady from Jefferson handcrafted the hat out of an extra
Yeah, she would never
outfit.
for either one of those.
No.
This one, Holly, helped me get my dolly and me. And there's another one in here from that lady too, maybe
Okay,
not
that's
the
one
same, maybe not the actual doll. I think I had a better one as one.
Those are the ones I
Anyway,
was thinking.
this is, you know, back to sharing the love of different things and being generous with one another. She might have got that doll dress. I relinquished that, but she relinquished this, and that was
Oh
really,
my gosh.
really great.
I knew that I would never pay what you would pay, that's why you got it.
Well, I hope you all know that Elmer is looking down at me very eagerly that I let those paper dolls go 2 weeks ago.
Now, was this busy Timmy? You said this one you had someone
And
else
she made it
was, or was
disappear.
this already?
Now, I have to go, good thing
I
I
like
keep
her
journals
too,
and
but-
catalogs. I got
Just
the
right now.
doll
Yeah,
with part of the clothing, I think
Yeah.
missing the jacket.
Yeah.
Then I got
I have to get closer. In the box?
So,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
cute.
part
Look
of
at
the
his
box
face.
too, I think.
Then she got clothing.
Aren't they cute?
Then I got some clothing. Then I ended up with an extra piece or two
Yeah.
of clothing. And then a lady in our church made the hat for me. She couldn't make it like, you know, I took her the book and I said, just do what you can. She said, well, she hoped I was satisfied. I said,
It's
you got the red, you got the plan on
very
there.
cute.
I didn't know, I don't sew, I didn't know.
They're very cute, their faces.
And I think it kind of made her nervous. I should have never said how special it all was
What does
because
it say on the back of his head? What does it
Jolly Toy Company.
say, Jolly Toy? Okay, I knew there was something special about that.
Yeah.
Dolly and me too.
And
That's
if they didn't
beautiful.
come with their books, we tried to duplicate the era that the dolls. I think this book is the original one that belonged to the girl that helped.
Do they both say 62 on the back of them? Hers too, probably? Just like yours does? Who knows, huh?
It's either 1961 or 1962. You're probably right with
That's what he
62.
is. But she
I think
probably
they all
is
say
too.
the same thing.
They all say the same thing as their
Yeah,
dolly.
I think so. Yeah.
Judy, could you leave that one out? I want to get a picture of it later.
Sure.
Both of
Just
them
this
will.
one, or you want?
Both of them
You
will.
want Dolly?
Just that one later.
No, I want Dolly also.
Well, you
Okay.
that's no problem.
Could you slide it over the
Yes.
table too? A little bit that way? There you go. It blocks you. There you go.
I just thought another thing he used to say about you. I'm having Holly withdrawal. Because with their golden books.
We actually saw a couple of them that we thought were.
Yeah.
They weren't advertised as such, but they were just pictures of them, and we just blew the pictures up and
Pictures of what?
Busy Timmy.
Busy Timmy.
So, but they weren't.
Yeah.
But we thought if we got,
Hole in them all.
one didn't look like it, but when you blew it up, you could just see a
You
little
tell
tiny
it.
hole.
It just seems to me that either Eloise or somebody in her family were never real happy about that doll, and I think it was her.
Yeah, I think it was her.
Yeah.
I think he's adorable. They
Well,
both are.
This was my second doll. This, I had an ad in one of, Collectors United wanted
Oh, nerd.
Golden Book dolls.
She's
And a lady who was deaf was getting rid of her mother's doll collection, so I actually talked to her husband, and they sold me these two dolls, but I had to make an offer. Now, mind you, I owned this doll without the cover for the box. Elmer found it at Elkhorn. That's all I owned at the time. Then all of a sudden, these two dolls, complete with box and books, I was to make an offer on. Well, I was scared to death if I made it too low. They'd say, no thank you, bye. This is, before computers. And if I made it too high, I didn't want to be foolish. I think it was $75 or $100 I offered and said it's negotiable. I think maybe it was $100. And he had to leave the phone, and he talked to his wife, and he came back and he said, yes, you can have them, but we will pay the postage because you're more than generous.
Oh my goodness!
Now at that time, it was nothing to see this book complete with Band-Aids go for $300.
Right. Right.
But I was still a little on the ignorant side. I didn't know if the book would come and it was in good shape and
Right,
had
yeah,
Band-Aids and, sight unseen. And so,
And your Heidi with the cover that Elmer made for it is now in my collection.
yeah.
Oh.
And I've owned 3 Heidis in all. The first one that came from Elkhorn that just had part of the box. And then one that came with my dolly and me. And this one that had come from out east. So it's been a lot of fun putting them together. And I'm going to repeat myself that I'm missing Cinderella, Cindy. You don't have her, do you?
Gosh, I
Cindy is such a wonderful Cinderella
wish. So if I
collection.
ever found one, I would know what to give it to. You have
Yeah.
joint custody.
Yeah, there you can do that in a small town.
Jacob and I did that with our dog.
You and I could do that in a small town.
Yeah.
I could do it for the first 20 years and you could have the rest. You could have all the rest.
I'm looking at the
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But look at this.
I'm sorry.
They're 13.
So these really do sit in my doll room and it really was dusty.
Their height is 12 or 13.
I think that's one of the fun
Do you
things I
think $1
have on
million
my
might
website.
get that one for John?
Last night when I went on my website, somebody said, my daughter would like the golden book that was made about the
That's
pig
the one
that
that your
exploded from eating too
grandson
many pancakes.
Gets the charge
Yeah.
out of it.
And I sat down,
For some reason,
got out
she's
my
like
little
that.
blue book that I keep and went to pancakes and George, What Happened to George is the title of it, and it's a Rand McNally book. I went on eBay, there was one for sale for $75, and it showed like 6 or 8 pages inside the book. So I told this person, there is one for sale on eBay, but and you can look at it to see all the pages of the book, or some of the pages of the book. But just want you to know that it's worth about $10. Don't pay $75 unless you want one yesterday. And that there's 3 different covers to that book, but the story remains the
She's
same.
expecting to
And I got an email back from them this morning saying, oh, we never imagined to get all that information, and yes, that's the book, we looked at the pictures.
Jan,
It's just so much fun.
put the box back further that way.
Yeah.
No, that was the one you just set down.
Sure, she's gonna take it when she's done. Oh,
I was gonna do it later, Jenny.
with my camera.
Otherwise, this movie's gonna keep
Judy,
going.
what do you want? A
This
picture
movie's
of
going.
Jan and-
Jan and
You
I.
have to ask Bill what he wants here, I don't know what you want.
Can you take it after she's done?
You can't win for
Is
losing.
Judy done?
I was gonna- Oh, you're done, okay.